Do you know what's strange happening in America? The stores are still open, the shelves are still full, but the buyers have disappeared. For decades, names like Dollar Tree, Walgreens, and Macy's were places where Americans went shopping, from a roll of toilet paper for $1 to their first interview suit. But in 2025, everything turned upside down. Not because the goods were poor, but because more and more Americans no longer have money to buy. Why are the chains that once thrived on the majority of the masses now fading away because of those very customers? How is it that America, the world's #1 consumer nation, is witnessing its people turning away from shopping? This video is based on public data, financial trends, and consumer feedback, not aimed at attacking any individual, region, or business. In today's video, we will explore 5 major retail chains on the brink of collapse, and this speaks to the quiet desperation spreading within modern America. Do you think this will stop at grocery stores? Watch until the end, because the story is bigger than what is disappearing from the shopping mall. In 2025, a truth is gradually emerging. Is Walmart no longer for the poor? When everyday low prices now only appear in wealthy neighborhoods, while the poor neighborhoods only see the sign closed permanently, you start to wonder, who are the real customers they are serving? Walmart, once seen as a companion of the working class, where you could buy cooking oil, pick up cold medicine, and chat a bit with your neighbors. But now, you'll have to drive 15 miles to find an open store, or learn how to eat bread online if you know how to use the app. The reason they gave is operational restructuring. Sounds very fancy. But for retirees living on SS, I-checks, and public buses, it means, sorry, there's no room for you in the new consumer system. According to statistics, Walmart has closed more than 20 stores in low-income areas just in the past year, from Chicago to Portland. Despite reporting a loss in revenue, the question that truly concerns people is this community suffering because they have been neglected by the system for so long that they can no longer afford a carton of milk without worrying about overdrawing their account at the end of the month? Do you still have any receipts from Walmart from the 2000s? How many items could you buy with just $20? Try to recount, so we can see that those days are actually not far away, just disappeared quietly. Another irony is that Walmart still doesn't hesitate to pour billions of dollars into building smart stores in wealthy areas, where electric cars outnumber bicycles and people can scan items with smartwatches. As for you, the workers with meager wages, you just want to pay in cash and find a kitchen towel for under. Everyday low prices. The legendary slogan now sounds like a joke for someone living in a different America. And do you see? Walmart didn't say goodbye. No emotional announcement board. There was no farewell ceremony with the community. Just disappearing. Silently, as if it had never been there. An elderly man in Kansas said, "Walmart isn't perfect, but it's close to home, affordable, and makes me feel like I still have a choice. Now I pray to God that Dollar Tree doesn't close down too." If you've ever walked into Walmart and felt like you still have a place in this world, hit subscribe. Because here, we tell the stories that someone needs to hear again. And if you know of any price hunting app that still works well, please share it in the comments. Many people here need it more than you think. But Walmart is not the only brand quietly withdrawing from the community. Another name that was once considered a mini health station for workers has now turned into a place only for those with premium insurance. Can you guess who it is? CVS used to be the place you went when you had a runny nose, a dry cough, or just wanted to ask, is there any cheap medicine that won't kill me? Now, you walk in and are greeted by a digital kiosk, an unfriendly price list, and the feeling that you've just done something wrong. In the past, CVS was like the old town pharmacy. You could go there without makeup, without a membership card, and sometimes without much money. And now, you need at least 3 things: a premium insurance card, the CVS app on your phone, and a steady mindset when looking at the prices of over-the-counter medications. The numbers seem to be unsuitable for those with limited income. According to statistics, CVS has closed more than 900 stores primarily in communities of color, working class areas, and low-income neighborhoods. They say it's to optimize their operational model and transition to modern healthcare services. Sounds very advanced, doesn't it? But listen to a resident living in Alabama, someone who now has to take 2 buses to reach the nearest pharmacy. You will see a different truth. She said, "I just need headache medicine, no need for a comprehensive health checkup, and no need for a yoga class for high blood pressure. I just need the old CVS to come back." But when the poor workers need it the most, CVS still heavily invests in modern minute clinics with doctors, nurses, and iPads at the counter. But who is it for? For those with PPO, HMO insurance, or enough patience to press the menu button on the screen 6 times. What about the elderly who don't use smartphones? They are feeling excluded from the technology-based healthcare system. CVS used to be the place you quickly stop by after work to buy medicine and a box of toothpaste. Now you need an appointment, a QR code, and if you don't have insurance, it's best to drink warm water and pray. When drug prices rise, services are digitized, and stores are wiped out from poor neighborhoods. You don't need statistics to know that poor Americans are at risk of being denied access to healthcare. CVS is not simply changing. It is becoming a place where average Americans can no longer afford to step in as they once did. When was the last time you went to CVS? Do you find everything becoming strangely distant? A viewer once commented, "I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, or if CVS is increasingly feeling like a place where I'm no longer welcome." If you've ever felt the same way, leave a comment. Because the truth is, it's not just you who feels left behind. We are aging along with a changing America, and that deserves to be said. Don't forget to follow if you believe that such small stories, those trips to CVS, Walmart, or waiting for a prescription, are the way we preserve a part of the familiar American memory. But if you think CVS has changed enough, just wait and see how a brand that used to feel like family now makes many people check their wallets before checking the prices. That's Target, and the story is not just about the price. Target used to be a place where you could walk in with flip-flops and messy hair. Now you should dress like you're going for an interview, and it's best not to carry a plastic bag. There was a time when Target was the place that was upscale yet still approachable. A little bit of red for life, a touch of sophistication in the cheap, a place to buy moisturizer and feel a bit kinder than when buying at Walmart. But now what? You walk into Target, the lights brighter than your skin, cameras installed more than makeup mirrors, and it feels like you're being watched for not having enough vibe. According to statistics, Target has closed numerous stores in residential areas with high crime rates or low sales, including a major branch in downtown San Francisco. Meanwhile, the Target in upscale Dallas was upgraded with 2 new floors, a skincare area, a mini coffee bar, and even a smart fitting room. Do you still remember when Target only needed 1 checkout counter, a few shelves, and soft background music? Now, just accidentally touch a bottle of moisturizer, and you'll see a security guard smiling from 8 meters away. The last time you went to Target, how did you feel? Is it still a friendly and sufficient place, or has it turned into a showroom only for thick wallets? And one noteworthy thing is that Target is investing hundreds of millions of dollars to upgrade their security system, from exit control gates to AI cameras, and even undercover employees who don't look undercover at all. The reason they give is customer and merchandise protection. But the result is, regular customers, especially the elderly, are feeling unwelcome. A 66-year-old woman once said, "I went to Target to buy toilet paper. The machine scanned the code. I scan. It doesn't recognize it. I scanned again. The red light turned on. The employee looked at me as if I were trying to steal the cheapest roll of paper in the store. I just want to buy paper." If you've ever found yourself in that situation, confused by machines, feeling out of place in a once familiar environment, please leave a comment. Perhaps many people are silently feeling the same way, but have never dared to speak out. Please follow if you believe that shopping should not come with the feeling of being scrutinized. Here, we are not just talking about prices, but about the feeling of being treated like a normal human being. But if Target makes you feel alienated, the next shock is even greater. A brand that once stood by the poorest class in America is now the place where many feel betrayed for just 25 cents. That is Dollar Tree, and the truth afterward will make you ponder. Dollar Tree used to be a paradise for spare change, a place where you could walk in with $5 and walk out like a millionaire. But then, they raised the price to 25 cents. And for many people, it's not just 25 cents. It's the last 25 cents to still feel like they matter. Do you remember that feeling? Going to Dollar Tree. No need to think, no need to calculate. Sandwich bread, soap, scented candles, toilet paper, all for no more, no less. Like an unwritten pact between the poor and the system. Until one day, everything suddenly became $1.25. The reason given is to ensure product quality and respond to inflation. Sounds reasonable, but the customers' reactions were not quite the same. A retired man in Ohio said, "I know it's just 25 cents. But for me, it feels like being pushed out of a place I used to belong." And the consequences came faster than they thought. Dollar Tree's stock plummeted. Loyal customers switched to Family Dollar or stopped shopping altogether. The feeling of being considered vanished overnight. Because if even Dollar Tree, a brand born to serve those who are struggling, raises its prices, then where is safe for those living on $800 a month pension? Do you remember how many items you could buy with $10 at Dollar Tree? And the last time you went, did you feel anything different? Dollar Tree is not just a store. It used to be a small beacon of hope, a place where the elderly, students, and single mothers could stop by without feeling judged. But now, a bag of snacks increased by 25 cents. A box of pain relievers increased by 50 cents. A belief diminished infinitely. An elderly woman once said, "I used to go into Dollar Tree every week. Now I stand outside the door, calculating and asking myself, is it worth it?" The sadness is not just in the price, but also the feeling. They no longer do this, for me. If you've ever seen Dollar Tree as a refuge, a small corner where your money still holds value, please share your story. Here, we don't ask for 25 cents back. We only demand the feeling of being respected. But Dollar Tree is not the final blow. There is still a symbol of affordable luxury, a place that used to be the top choice for holidays, Tet, and those times we deserved a little something. And now, it is also withdrawing. We are talking about Macy's. Macy's used to be the place where you took your child during the holidays, admired the lights, tried on perfumes, and dreamed of something bigger than your wallet. Now, you only see clearance signs, half-closed shutters, and an employee finishing up hanging price tags. There was a time when Macy's was not just a store, it was a social ritual. You went there not because you needed to, but because you wanted to feel worthy. A jacket originally priced at $49.99 is on sale for $7.99, and you feel like you've just won the lottery. But today, what do you see when you go to Macy's? A silent building, an empty floor, a small sign, like a hasty farewell, location closing soon. Macy's has closed dozens of flagship stores, including iconic locations such as downtown San Francisco, Portland, or the Manhattan Mall. They call it a strategy focused on higher value markets. It sounds right if you are not in the group of customers being left behind. Macy's used to be the place where you learned to pronounce Calvin Klein correctly, where you touch the thick wool fabric and feel that winter has arrived. So what now? You touch the hanger and hear the metallic sound echoing like the closing door of an era. A retired uncle shared, "Back in the day, going to Macy's was an event. I put on a shirt, took the car out, and carefully chose a birthday gift for my wife. Now I click 3 times on Amazon and it arrives in a cardboard box." That's true, but it's not fun either. If you've ever spent an entire afternoon trying perfumes at Macy's or stuffed receipts into your wallet as trophies after a sale, leave a comment. Those memories are not worth being put on clearance. And if you want to continue accompanying these emotionally charged consumer stories, don't forget to follow. Because America doesn't always have discounts. Sometimes it's losing itself. Walmart withdraws from poor communities. CVS is shifting to serve those with high insurance coverage. Target is changing its vibe. Dollar Tree is changing its prices. Macy's is changing its class. But they all have one thing in common. The average American is no longer the center of the game. So, what is really happening to America's consumer model? And where will people go? What will they buy? Who will they trust? When all the places they once knew are now just memories. Walmart has withdrawn. CVS is also backing down. Target is changing its vibe. Dollar Tree raises prices. Macy's closes flagship. But the list doesn't stop here. Cheap stores are disappearing. Community centers are shrinking. And each time a store closes, it's not just losing a shopping spot, but it's losing a support point. Have you noticed? Low-income workers in the US are no longer being named, but are facing the risk of being erased. Not because they did anything wrong, but because they no longer contribute enough to the ideal spending level. So if the poor, retirees, and night shift workers are no longer target customers, no longer the ones being served, then what will they rely on? Flea market, ngan hang thuk pham, or the applications that they don't have smartphones to use. Older, poorer, and average consumers, gradually being excluded from the game. When inflation rises but social security benefits do not keep pace, the elderly cut back on spending, especially on non-essential consumer goods. SNAP, food stamps being cut or limited in many states, also means that people can no longer afford to shop regularly, and stores in poor neighborhoods that do not meet sales targets may have to close. Inequality no longer stems from race or gender, but from access to technology, transportation, and the level of profitability in the modern commercial system. When a store closes, it's not just losing a place to shop, it also means losing a place to meet neighbors, losing a safe place for the elderly to chat on weekends, losing the sense of being present in this economy. We are not just talking about losing cheap goods, but about losing community ties, things that may seem small, but once helped Americans feel they still belong to something. Let's face a truth, retail corporations may no longer serve everyone. They categorize, filter, and focus on the most valuable customers. High spending, high tech, high margin. The ideal customer now is not a friendly person, but someone who spends a lot and doesn't cause trouble. Each time a familiar store closes, the system doesn't just contract a little. It pulls a slice out of the cultural memory of America. From the town center to the poor suburbs, the countryside, places that were once the heart of mass consumption, now have become commercial white zones. And if ordinary people, those who work regularly, pay taxes regularly, and live simply, are no longer being served, then who is this system serving? This is not just a story about shopping, but it's a story about those who have been quietly erased from the social map. Maybe you are not a low-income person, but if you ever grew up in a frugal family, ever thank the heavens for having a Walmart or Dollar Tree nearby, you understand that feeling. The feeling of still having a place in society. What do you think about this mass exodus? Do you still have any memories of the places that have disappeared? Tell us, because who knows? On the other side of the screen, someone might be feeling like they have no one to lean on. When the doors with the label "closed permanently" keep increasing, people start to worry not only about prices, but also about human values. Because the chains of stores that once accompanied the working class are now quietly withdrawing, leaving them behind in an increasingly selective consumer cycle. We cannot completely blame the businesses. We can't just sit there and complain. So what can ordinary people, retirees, those working 2 jobs at once, those who can barely make ends meet, do? In many places, people are reconnecting with each other, forming buying clubs, groups of 5 to 10 households buying in bulk at warehouses like Costco to share the costs. Or create exchange groups, sharing food through community libraries or local churches. Reselling high-quality second-hand goods as a way to maintain the flow of affordable goods within the community. The solution does not come from a corporation, but from the very people who are being left behind. Besides, Learning how to use technology is also a solution worth trying. Not everyone is good with technology, but an app that hunts for discounts like Honey, Rakuten, or a TikTok channel sharing cheap deals for low-income earners can make a difference of 0 to 20 each month. A woman expressed, "I don't need to know how to fly a plane, I just need to know how to book a ticket." Similarly, you don't need to be tech-savvy, you just need to find a tool that suits you. Don't forget to encourage friends and children to guide you through just 1 to 2 simple apps. It will make a difference. And importantly, let's raise our voices, even if it's just a little, but don't stay silent. When you comment on a post about Dollar Tree raising prices, when you write an email about the store closing affecting the community, when you share a video like this, you are no longer a lone customer. You are part of a collective voice, and companies, governments, activists, they pay attention to these voices. If you agree that such voices need to be preserved, please share this video. Maybe someone who thinks they are the only one feeling abandoned will see that they are not alone at all. Maybe we can't change Walmart. We can't force Macy's to reopen its flagship store. But we can maintain our values by connecting, sharing, and demanding respect, even if we are not the ideal consumers. Because no one should be considered too poor to be served. The elderly, the poor, the ordinary, they are not a burden. They are the reason America once became great. And if you are still here, you are the one we made this video for. Not to complain, but to remind you, you are still valuable. Your memories still deserve to be mentioned. And your voice, though small, is still an indispensable part of this America. Leave a comment. What are you doing to adapt? Do you have any solutions for your community? Let this video be a place of sharing, not complaining, but rather sparking a way out. We have just gone through 5 retail chains that were once pillars of daily life. Walmart, CVS, Target, Dollar Tree, Macy's. Each name that disappears is a fragment of memory falling away. Not because you don't need them anymore, but rather because they don't need people like us anymore. But this is not just a story about consumption, but it's a bigger question. When you can no longer afford to be a customer, are you still considered a part of this society? We want to hear your story. Have you ever walked into a familiar store and found it gone? Have you ever felt lost amidst changes you didn't choose? Please share in the comments, because it's very likely that on the other side of the screen, someone is feeling the same way and needs to know that they are not alone. And if you think stories like this need to be continued, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, not to count the views, but to preserve the voices that are gradually losing their place in the system. Here, we don't just make videos. We remind each other that you are still valuable and your story deserves to be heard. This video is analytical and reflects societal issues, compiled from various public sources such as the press, business reports, market data, and community opinions. All opinions are intended for discussion and sharing diverse perspectives, without targeting any individual, organization, or business. All mentioned brands are owned by the respective parties. Thank you for following along until the end. You are not forgotten. We see you. And we made this video for people like you. See you in the next video.